Hey everybody, we are prepping to go
7 minutes
on
until
Blog Talk.
showtime.
So if you're going to join us, this basically is just a feed in right now. I wanted to give you all the link if you see this live to join us on Blog Talk, not necessarily the StreamYard. Let me give you that link. This is basically the link that I want you all to join us on to listen to the full interview with myself, Coach Ivan Curtis, and Lothario, so you can hear everything that's going on with CEPTV Late Night Hype.
Six minutes
We go
until
live in
showtime.
6 minutes. So if you would please click the link and join us on Blog Talk. You can also call into the show 646-668-8484. Or once the show begins, you are more than welcome to leave your questions or comments in the post, whatever apparatus you may be joining us on. We are streaming live one way from my end. We are streaming live on CEPTV. We're streaming live on YouTube. We're also streaming live on Periscope. So if you have ever had any questions about NBA Gaming League, NBA2k gamings, then I want you to click that link and join us over on Blog Talk. We're going to be going live in 5 minutes. If you don't know who I am, my name is LaShawn Smith, and I am the
5
founder
minutes
of
until showtime.
CEPTV Networks. And I will be joining my business partner, Lothario Wright. He may join us on camera as well. Let's see if I can.
Four minutes until showtime.
We're going live in 4 minutes. So click that link to join us over on Blog Talk. You can also give us a call at 646-668-8484. We're getting ready to go live in about 4 minutes, 3 minutes. Very excited to be talking to Coach Curtis, who is of the Brooklyn Nets NBA2k Gamers League. Very excited. This is definitely one for the books as far as interviews go. So please click that link and join us on there if you can. Again, we're starting in about 3 minutes. So again, click that link and rock it out with us tonight. So again, we are on my end.
3 minutes until showtime.
Kind of like a lead in, we're going to be funneling so you can hear some of the questions that I'll be asking. And if you're interested and you have any questions yourself, I'd encourage you to click the link, join us over on Blog Talk Radio so you can hear the full interview yourself with Ivan, myself, and Lothario, and anyone else who may call in tonight. We go ahead and post that number on here as well. 646-668-8484. That's that number right there.
2 minutes until showtime.
I'm about to try something. You may not have to join on the other one. You may be able to listen to the broadcast from these sites. I'm sharing the audio. So let's see how this works. If it gives feedback, I'm going to end it.
One minute until showtime.
Live in 1 minute. This is, you're seeing the inside of the studio of the Blogtalk Radio. So what I'm trying to do is share the audio that you're here. This is kind of experimental, so please bear with me. We're getting ready to start in just 1 moment. And you're going to hopefully hear the intro. If I hear some feedback, if I hear it playing double, then I'm going to have to end it. Let's see if this is doing what it's saying that it's doing.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, Doug. Hey, what's up? What's up? Yeah, I am. This is a little experimental. Okay, so I'm going back to the studio then. By the way, the beat that you're hearing is created by 360 Beats, Elroy Miles Jr. 350 Beats. Doug, can you hear the audio? Can you hear the music? Can y'all hear the music as well? Must be a little bit of a delay. Let me know if you can hear the music and the audio too. Because I'm supposed to be sharing the audio and okay, awesome. Now, do you hear the music too? Awesome. So you should be able to hear everything when Coach Curtis comes on. So you don't have to go to Blogtalk necessarily. But if you want to call in to the show, ladies and gentlemen, 646-668-8484. This is pretty awesome. So right now I'm streaming live to Facebook, streaming live to YouTube, Periscope, and Instagram wouldn't act right, but that's okay. All right, welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. This is another episode, November the 6th episode of CEP-TV Late Night Hype with LaShawn and Lothario. Lothario's on the line with us tonight. What's up, Lothario?
Hey, what's up? What's up? I'm here relaxing, chilling, excited about tonight and the show, our guest, excited about the content and what everything is going to turn out to be. 'Cause I know it's going to be beautiful, and I'm excited. How are you doing today?
Hey, had a long day at work, but definitely had CEP-TV on the brain. Couldn't wait to do this interview. Such an honor to have someone who is doing so much trailblazing and making some moves and, being able to enjoy a dream career as an NBA2k coach. But there's a lot of things going on in the headlines that I wanted to kind of discuss with you, and maybe we can get some things off our chest. If you had a couple of topics, we can roll through those as well. But man, it is so much going on right now, like for real.
That is true. It is a lot of stuff going on. As far as new things I've been learning, that's been on the news, and not even just things on the news, because the news is always going to be a recurring factor, no matter what people do. I wish, honestly, speaking of that, I really wish that the news had more exciting and elated type of topics going on. In most cases, I really wish it had that. However, I'm glad I did bring that up, because I'm excited on the information you taught me maybe some weeks ago about the black news anchor people that you said that you came across, and I think that you shot me like a trailer of one. I was excited about that because that looks pretty dope. So it's several different topics of conversation we could basically stumble on and get into when it comes down to the information you have introduced me to, and many other topics at hand.
Right. Well, you know me. First of all, before we get into the topics, let me introduce everyone who may have not listened to this broadcast before or may not be familiar with CEP-TV. CEP-TV stands for Creatives, Entrepreneurs, and Entertainers at Play TV. And basically our motto and theory is, if you work doing what you love, you never really and truly work a day in your life. And so what we do is we are a network that provides a streaming TV service, television service for African Americans, and the only one that lets you choose how you want to stream, whether you're just testing the waters and need a distribution partner, or you're ready to go all out and monetize with a built-in fan base, or you're looking for a place to land that is truly African American owned and operated. And so CEP-TV is giving you that freedom, giving you a place that is fully focused on you and is willing to build with you. So this is for all creatives, all entrepreneurs, whatever talents you may have. If you have digital content and you're looking somewhere to distribute, if you're tired of the status quo, and you really want to build a foundation, you want to build a winning team, then come on over and stream with us. We are definitely your distribution partners. So there's many ways that you can partner up with us. So if you want more information, head on over to www.mycep.tv. There you can see the growing selection of titles that we have, original curated content created by African Americans and people of the diaspora. And we also have your submission link there. So if you want to submit some content, you can actually do so right from the website. And we also have our own Android link, and we are hoping that the Apple app, the Apple app will be released hopefully around Thanksgiving, maybe a little bit before, but definitely before December. So we finally got our DUNS number and all of that. So the Apple team has reached out to us so we can begin developing our app. So that should be maybe about 2 or 3 weeks out. So very excited about that. So that just gives everybody who may be a little bit new to the platform an idea of what we are all about, why we are here, and we, with everything that's going on in the current media, we definitely know that we are right where we need to be at the right time. So this is a perfect segue to lead into talking about what's going on with Byron Allen versus Comcast. So November the 13th, there's a huge thing going on, Comcast, and it's not just Comcast, it's Time Warner, it's Charter, it's Comcast, and of course that includes everything that's under their umbrella. It's taking Byron Allen to court so that they can tamper with the first statute that was the first ever civil rights bill that was ever created, and it was in 1866, which basically it helps people of color get inclusion into being able to get jobs and opportunities, because the leverage, is not really the same for people of color in America, and the fact that we have to even fight over this old statute, this first ever statute, is just really amazing and appalling at the same time. So this is something that everybody needs to be paying attention to, but just understand it's more than about, Byron Allen and his stance, because he's one person. I definitely support him. I definitely support him on this portion of the journey, and we all need to be paying attention to see what happens. And, just remember, these media entities are, what we are giving our money to. This is a $70 billion industry. And what Byron Allen uncovered in his in his campaign is that out of these $70 billion that are made, none of this money goes to, African-American businesses. So, this is a huge deal. Please make sure you check out the CEPTV Instagram page. We have a small clip, but that's going to either lead you to the Breakfast Club, where one of the interviews are shown. It's about an hour-long interview, definitely worth the watch for you to weigh in. And then the Griot, which is owned by Byron Allen, has a lot of information on it too. And so because I'm a solutions-based person, we want to find solutions. You can go on there, find out information about the Black Caucus members who are not taking a stance against this whole movement with Comcast. And, this is something that everybody really needs to be paying attention to. It's very important. And even if the law does get repealed, I don't feel like it will be, quote unquote, the end of the world. But I think you will just need to be aware and alert and walk very circumspect when this goes, or comes and goes, or whatever happens. We definitely need to have our eyes fully opened to what may be around the corner as a result, because I really don't know what to expect. I can speculate. We can all speculate, but we really don't know what to expect if this is going to be repealed. And this is the reason why, we need to really stop talking about unity and building and community and really start doing it, because, if it comes to the point where people are like, now you can't get a lawsuit against a company for outright discrimination because this law is to no effect, to the point where it's been eviscerated and dissected to the point where it doesn't really mean anything anymore. So you'll have, as a person of color, you will have no leverage when it comes to trying to seek employment or other opportunities within certain arenas. So this is why we need to
basically,
create our own arenas.
basically, right. This things are basically based on what you're breaking down. It would almost be like things would be going in a reverse.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much that I think that's the least we could expect, and it could be a travesty or it could make us unite more, so it could go
I
either
agree.
way. Yeah.
I feel like it should make us unite more. You're saying some real beautiful things right now because, ironically, some of what you're saying, I was talking to some people that I know a few days ago about some of what you're saying that relates to what you're saying. One of the things was, and I'll be very brief so that way you can continue to elaborate. Um, I was saying that I'm tired of hearing, for anybody that's out there listening, you, I'm sure, are well aware of this, whether you are a black person, African American person, or not, because it's a pretty popular thing in a sense of as a joke. But I was telling some people that I'm tired of hearing us talk about um, CP time, which is colored people time, which relates to us not being on time and quote unquote we're always supposedly late for everything. But then if you're the opposite of African American, black, then time for you is relatively on time. And just to be more clear about that, when I say the opposite, I'm saying as again, as most people already know, as most people have heard the saying, um, if you're a Caucasian person, you're going to start on time. So I was telling some of the people that I know that in order to make things better, you would have to stop saying those things that quote unquote are supposed to relate to
You got to
us,
change
whether
the
it truly
narrative.
does relate to
Yep.
us or not.
Change the narrative. That's right. Yeah. And stop ascribing
Yeah, you
to
have to.
those things.
Right, right. You have to stop saying that. You have to. We have to, as people. When I say you, I'm speaking in reference to those that say it, but as a connective, what I'm saying, all together, the melting pot, we have to stop doing things like that. The same as when we say, if we could all just learn how to work together, stop saying if and just start doing it.
Yeah.
And that changes a whole lot of things. Stop all the if and just do it.
Right.
Stop saying we color people time and just stop it and start doing things more on time. You basically, it's like you're speaking life into what it is that
Mm-hmm.
the stereotypes say about us, but you're speaking life to be against that.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think sometimes we take it as a joke because it's something that we collectively laugh about. But again, like you're saying, like those things that we speak and we put out in the atmosphere are the things that manifest. So let's be more purposeful on the things we say, even if it's, maybe a folklore, folks tale, old wives tale, or whatever you want to say. Maybe we should come away from those things and be more meaningful in what we say. And of course, if we are more meaningful in what we say, it can cultivate us being more purposeful and selective. And again, that word keeps coming up, more circumspect in what we do. So let's roll on
Right.
to
That way
the
we can become more accomplished.
right.
We can be more
Exactly.
accomplished. Yeah.
Exactly. And I'm gonna cut it short on the current events because I got a lot of stuff that I want to cover with Coach Curtis. But the other thing that kind of really didn't sit well with me was the gentleman Moses West. In last week, he brought his water creating machine that could create water out of the atmospheric moisture, and he was doing a wonderful thing up in Michigan. And I'll be darned if some vandals didn't come and strategically destroy his machine. And it's to the point where when they destroyed it, you could tell that whoever did it had a mechanical expertise. Like they, poisoned the
They knew what they were
coolant.
doing.
Yeah, they poisoned the coolant. Like they destroyed the engine. Like they went in there and strategically messed it up to where it couldn't, it wasn't a quick fix or anything. So after we get off of air, I'm actually going to see if I can reach out to Moses West to see if there's anything that we can do. Again, we are a solutions based network. So I don't like to just bring up topics just to complain about it. I want to be a
Right,
part
and
of the solution and
there you
see.
go. And that's executing. That's
Absolutely.
executing.
See what
Exactly.
we can do to partake in maybe raising some funds or bringing some awareness. Maybe there's some things that people can do, maybe set up some cameras, around that area to,
Right.
have some motion sensors or whatnot, because that's just crazy. So that was
That's
the other
definitely
thing I wanted to
necessary.
talk
The
about.
motion sensors and cameras. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
necessary. You on point.
So yeah, so those are things that are happening right now. And then the last thing I will just bring up briefly, let's go out and support. I don't even want to talk about the other movie. Like, I'm not even going to mention it. I'm not even going to give it any credence, but Black and Blue. There's a lot of controversy surrounding Tyrese in that movie. He actually was hospitalized from exhaustion. He did about 70 interviews or something like that. And like the first day or whatever, first few days that the movie aired in the theaters, it was doing really good. It was like the number one in the box office. Then all of a sudden, movie theaters started saying that they weren't going to air it for whatever reason, and all kinds of stuff. So now it's not, I guess, not doing as well. And Tyrese was absolutely overwhelmed, not only with that, but he also had some personal things going on with the custody battle at the same time. So, he got overwhelmed with everything. So I'm going to send some prayers to my guy Tyrese out there. Definitely me personally, I'm going to go support Black and Blue, not for any political reason or anything like that, but I just think it's a story that needs to be told. And like he said in one of his interviews, that this is not a movie that really ever gets green lighted in Hollywood. So I think it's a historical movie. Yeah, I think it's a historical movie in that aspect alone. So if you want to see something that's really going to make history, or be a part of history, I would suggest maybe supporting that movie, even though it is a Hollywood movie, whatever. The intentions behind this movie is so pure that I would encourage people to go see it. And the young lady who's doing the leading role, she has done some other awesome projects. She was the leading role or supporting actress in that movie Assassin, that I thought was really good. She played Keisha in that movie, and a lot of people say that she has been long deserving of a major role. And so now she finally gets her chance in this movie. So I'm definitely going to support it. So shouts out to Tyrese. We hope you are feeling better. Please stay encouraged, and keep going. Just keep going for us,
Well, most definitely. To just add on to a piece of what you just said, yeah, I too would say that everybody should go out and go check it out. I'm going to make sure I check it out myself. I enjoyed the interview that Tyrese did, one of the ones that I've seen on Instagram. And also, as LaShawn just said, I would push, you know what I'm saying, and desire that anyone will go out and support it, the same as many people, no matter how you may see things, but the same as many people in the world who may or may not believe in God and Christ and Jesus and all of that stuff. Plenty of people went out back in the day and they supported Passion of the Christ, because that movie is phenomenal. So the same way people supported that, please do go out and support this as well.
Yep. I agree. Before we bring our guest on, and we are so excited about that, we're going to take a quick break and pay some bills. And don't you all dare say anything about my sponsors, okay? We're going to take a quick break. And
swallow hard when y'all listen.
Everyone needs a spa day, a day to relax and unwind and let someone else take care of your needs for a change. If you live in the Houston, Texas area and are ready for a spa day, you need to visit Urban Day Spa. Urban Day Spa has two convenient locations, one in Spring, Texas, and the other in the Copperfield area of Houston. Urban Day Spa have the lowest prices on massage treatments, and you never have to sign a contract. Some of their other services include facial therapies, body treatments, hydrotherapy, and much more. Urban Day Spa also also have amazing packages you will love. Treat yourself or someone you care about with the Urban Day Spa. They also offer gift certificates. Visit them right now at urbandayspa.com. That's urbandayspa.com.
This is our child, not just your child, and I will stay in his life. He will have me till I can't breathe, even though you're not my wife. I will raise him, feed him, teach him wrong from right. Let's take care of him together. Take care of him together. We were lovers. Now let's raise this child.
Brothers, let's stand up and raise our children. We can't afford to lose another generation.
Welcome to CEPTV and Blogtalk Radio. Anyone can subscribe and sign up. You can view all genres of content, movies, live events, TV shows, and more by African Americans and Brown Americans on CEPTV. Then listen for interviews on Blogtalk Radio. Tune in to listen now.
All right, and we are back. Thank y'all for surviving that. No, it's great. It's a good positive message, and I did listen to it before.
At the end, very good positive message.
And I like it. So I mean, it's different, you know, and so it is what it is. Don't y'all talk about my sponsors unless you want to sponsor. So if you are interested in sponsoring commercials for CEPTV, Blog Talk Radio, we do have a growing listener base, and we are so glad that you all are tuning in. If you're interested in sponsoring us, please email us at CEPTV 2019@gmail.com. If you are interested in calling what?
Let me add something to that, because I like what you just did. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take y'all to a whole nother level. Anybody that may or may not like what you just heard, it's not about that, but it's about this. Make sure that you email us at that same email that LaShawn just gave out and send in your content if you want us to hear the best of the best. And not only the best of the best, but you're trying to get yourself branded and advertised as well. Take advantage of it.
Absolutely. Yep. Because we're going to go all out for ours. So go ahead and send that in. 646-668-8484 is the number to call if you want to chime in. But without further ado, we're going to bring a phenomenal person on the line who has taken time out of their busy schedule to come and hang out with us tonight. Coach Ivan Curtis of the Brooklyn Nets gaming team on the NBA2k league. Welcome to Late Night Hype on CEPTV with LaShawn and Lothario. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm doing fine. I want to thank you all for having me on the show. This is normally my hours of operation from time to time.
Awesome. Well, that works out. Awesome. We are so happy to have you. We want to get right into this thing. I have definitely some questions. Let me pull up my little list. So I tend to get off on tangents, so I have to stay on track. To start it all off, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background and upbringing, and then lead us on into how you got into this particular career. Like, how did this opportunity come about?
Like you mentioned earlier, my name's Ivan Curtis. I'm born and raised in Dayton, Ohio. Attended Paul Lawrence Dunbar. Upon graduation, I went to the United States Navy. During that time, when I was a kid, I basically always had a strong admiration for playing video games. oddly to say, when I went to the military, it got even worse because when we wasn't working or out to sea or anything like that, I was either working out or playing video games. So I pretty much played every chance I got. I was in from 97 to 2001. I got out with an honorable discharge, came back, moved back home with my mom. And basically, I was working in the nursing field, still playing video games heavily. And NBA2k was a popular game. And I've been playing it ever since it came out. And it was at that moment, in 2014, basically, it was a game mode that allowed you to create your own player. You pretty much, it was just a way for you to play the game, being yourself virtually. And that's pretty much when it took off for me. I played that mode a lot. And they basically put modes in the game that allows you to eventually be able to create teams. And that's pretty much how, catapulted my career to where it is now.
So you basically evolved with the game. So like you were already smitten when it first came out, but then when they started adding all these features, you were like, oh man, this is it. Like, oh, and then you just kind of grew and more in love with the game.
Yeah, like it's funny because I used to always say playing the game earlier. NBA2k came out in I think it was like 1999 or something like that, early 2000s. It wasn't until 2014 they put the mode in the game. And then upon that, they added a mode where basically everybody could create their own player and go inside what they call the Jordan Rec Center. And you could play 5v5, where basically it was 10 people on the court at one time controlling each other. So, through all of that, I met two really good friends who later became business partners, because what we did was we took that mode and created a league called the MPBA, which is the My Player Basketball Association. And through that, we ran it pretty much just like the NBA. People would bring in their teams, we compete against each other, and we kept statistical, we kept stats, kept records, awards. We pretty much just mimicked the NBA.
Y'all took it to a whole nother level.
Yeah, like and it was just passion and just for the fun and love of the game.
That is amazing.
That's
so
yeah. Brilliant. Brilliant.
So yeah. So it wasn't until I think 2017 they announced that they were going to have a professional league. And, it was crazy because we pretty much have been mimicking the NBA the whole time. But Take-Two Sports, along with the NBA, partnered together to create the NBA2k League. And that's what I'm proudly a member of today. I'm a general manager for the actual Netsgamingcrew, which is a Brooklyn Nets affiliate in the league.
Did anybody from that professional organization, did they get any insight from you, seeing as that you had already kind of been doing your own thing on a kind of like on a new offshoots level? Did anybody say, hey, I like what you're doing? Is that how this whole thing, this opportunity came about?
I mean, to a large degree, I think after during the first season, me and my partner, Tawan Fairley, we basically joined one of the franchises in the first season as draft analysts, where basically we helped them put their team and their roster together for their team. And in process of doing that, I mean, we always had kind of gained some recognition for being a pillar, of the NBA2k League after the fact. But, pretty much that gave us the exposure that we needed to, to come to the forefront and allow us to be in the positions that we are today. He's actually the GM and coach for Netsgamingcrew, which is the affiliate. Well, not Netsgamingcrew, but Nets Gaming. which is actually the affiliate of the Dallas Mavericks.
Okay.
So, Ivan, when you guys did what you did, was it kind of like almost being in a position or playing a position of like an A&R or a PR in a sense?
No. I mean, it just, you know how it was just simultaneously. I guess like we were just doing, what we were doing, and I can't technically say, yay or nay if how much of an influence that we had, but I know that I would like to think that we were a part of, something that allowed that door to open wider, so to speak.
Okay, so tell us about the experience of navigating this as a career. So who, like, they approached you, or you said when you all became the analysts, that's something that you applied for, and then the other opportunities just kind of came as a result of somebody seeing how tenacious you were for what you were doing and seeing that you were willing to do more trailblazing and kind of push what they were doing to an even bigger level?
Well, yeah, basically, through that, it was like a resume builder. But like I said, a lot of people knew us from us running leagues and orchestrating tournaments, prior to. So that didn't hurt. Also, over 80% of the players that were drafted in the first season of the NBA 2K League all participated in our league. So our name and reputation was already out there. Me, myself personally, I received some assistance and guidance and, and how to go about, gaining exposure and being in the right places and right time to be able to be in a position that I'm in. And, so it all worked hand in hand.
That would be an awesome workshop. Do you think you could monetize that information and do some workshops on something like that?
I mean, I got a lot of things, in the making. It's just, basically with me being a general manager and handling the day-to-day operations, it's just it's a little clogged right now, but yeah, it's definitely something that definitely could happen. I mean, basically our process right now, participating in the NBA 2K League is a player, and it's interesting because right now we have a period going on where basically it's called the NBA 2K League qualifier, and basically you have to win 50 games, have at least a winning percentage of 50%. And how you achieve that is you can either play in the modes of Pro-Am or you can play in the rec center. And that's how you can achieve your wins. And once you complete that first task, you have to complete an application and do a semi-interview. And you have to submit that. And then after that process is completed, the combine will start sometime in December, I believe. And you have to complete that phase. And, hopefully with your performance through that, you can be in the draft pool. Now, one interesting thing that happened this offseason is that the league allowed organizations to operate tournaments that were handing out not only monetary prizes or gifts and things of that nature, but we can award players draft spots. So that was something that was new in this off season.
Yeah, and so what are the ages and ratio of boys, girls and boys?
Well, as far as the ages, you have to be at least 18 and have graduated high school, or your graduating class has had to graduate. And as far as the age limit goes. Now, it's open to male and female. We actually had our first female player drafted last year. So it was a historic moment.
Awesome.
This year, I think we will maybe anticipating, even more. So it's just something to be interesting to see.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm all for it. Like I've watched some of your videos and I do see some of the things that you're doing. There's like girls and guys in there. Now, what are those? Are those like little workshops and camps that you are doing for, different things and stuff like that? Because there's like a lot of boys and girls in some of the videos that I've seen you engaged in.
Well, yeah, luckily I had an opportunity. One big event was we actually had the women's in gaming NBA2k League developmental camp, and that basically were for female gamers who are looking to try to compete in the league and participate. So basically, we held a camp where I think it was 15 women from all over. They came in, they played, they received, training and tips from the pro players, from GMs and coaches. Actually, had special guests and things of that nature. It was a beautiful experience. I was honored to be a part of it. But I know the league is making different strides to reach that area.
Absolutely.
Sounds awesome. Yeah, that sounds really, really awesome. I know the female gamers were very excited about that because the gaming world, for the most part, is so strong with the male playing their role. So I know when the female get an opportunity to have a come up, I know that it really, really gets them excited. I have some female friends of mine that are gamers, so I know that's pretty cool.
Yeah, most definitely. Oddly enough, it's in a lot of things that, it's maybe male dominated. It's an uphill battle, but I think it's worth it. It's females out here who can play, and I think gaming is one of those areas that, if you're good, you're good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't matter, male or female. And I like being in a space like that. I'm, basically, in my position, I want the best gamer that can help our organization. So I'm definitely, always open to helping, any gamer, male or female, try to maximize their game and hopefully one day to be able to play at the highest level.
Absolutely. So tell us about the work-life balance. You do a lot of traveling from your hometown of Dayton, Ohio, which is a commonality that we both share. You travel a lot back and forth. Like what? Like how do you do that? Like how's that going for you?
It's an adjustment. Basically, I lived 6 months in New York during our season, but it's typically from March to August, and I'm there full time. And then in the off season, I come back home in Dayton, Ohio, and I also visit in between downtown during the season, but I try to stay in New York as much as possible during the season. But it's you get the big city life, fast pace, hustle and bustle, all of that, and then when I just want to come back and just be me and be Ivan, I'm back in Dayton, Ohio, with the people who know me from just being me, and so I think it's a perfect balance. And for me, I just been the same guy, same kid. I'm just, I'm just a big kid in an adult world when it comes to gaming, and I like that. I'm pretty much one of the older guys in the gaming industry that in our space, and that's pretty much where I coined the term OG King Kurt, because I was pretty much older than a lot of the players that I was playing with or against when I was coming up before I, attained this position when I was just an everyday player. And a lot of times the players, they wouldn't even know how old I was or anything like that until they heard my voice. And they were like, man, that sounds like somebody's dad or something like that. And so, you know, I just took that and ran with it. And it's actually worked out for me. I know, you know, a lot of players look up to me. You know, I mentor a lot of different players, whether they're on my team or not. And it's just something that I'm appreciative and I value it a lot.
Awesome.
You have an awesome thing going on.
Yeah. So how have the people in our hometown been receptive of your success? I've seen the article that was run in Dayton Daily News about you and the team or whatnot. How was that? Like when that was published, like how did people receive that information? Like, did you get a lot of congratulations? Or did people, you know, start kind of standing off? Like how did all that go?
You know, it's funny because like when people think of gaming, they don't think of it as like being a career or, you know, or anything like that. So it's like, you know, when I was at the time when I was running leagues and doing tournaments, I spent a lot of time at home and I'm sitting on the couch playing the game and people just think I'm just sitting there playing. They had no idea that the whole time of everything that was being built and how everything was operating. So then when it finally would, you know, hit the paper and, you know, social media and stuff like that, and people was like, oh man, it's like a big deal. Like, because at the time, you know, I was working in healthcare. I also was a unit coordinator at a group home and I was coaching high school basketball. So nobody really knew that the impact that I was having in the gaming world.
Wow.
You know, because I was still going about my everyday life. So once it, you know, hit mainstream, it was like, oh man, like, you know, that's dope. Like, you know, and everything like that. So, I mean, they have embraced me. You know, ironically, when I did the interview with Dayton Daily News in Brooklyn during the ATN tournament, and you know, he asked me a few questions. It was a great interview. But I didn't know that the spread was going to be that big.
Yeah.
So I just happened to be scrolling on Facebook and I think somebody had posted it and then they tagged me and I was like, oh, wow. Like, you know, I never knew it was going to be that big. It was, you know, it was on the front page of the sports.
Yes.
Wow. So I was like, yeah, so I mean, it was a humble, everything about this journey has been humbling. You know, I've been fortunate to do things that I never thought I'd be doing, you know, not only for myself, but for my kids and just, you know, everybody around me. So, like I said, I'm forever grateful and appreciative to be where I'm at.
Exactly.
You're the
like
OG
there's
King superhero.
Absolutely. That's very fitting. Like there's not a whole lot of people.
Superhero.
There is definitely not a lot of people who will be able to say they actually carved a career out of gaming, you know. So I want to recap this really quick for the listeners out there. So if you are interested in getting into the gaming arena, and this specifically is with the two, somebody wanted to know, is there an entry fee? Brother Saeed wants to know if there's an entry fee.
You know, not for the actual NBA2k league. I mean, I basically had broke down like the qualifiers and how you can, you know, potentially become a player in the league. But there's no entry fee or anything like that. It's pretty much just you have the time, you put the work in on the game.
Gotcha.
You know, far as like amateur leagues and different things like that, those vary. And I can lead anybody to their social handles and different things like that.
Awesome. Okay,
so you can get a better idea.
So I just wanted to recap. That was a great question, by the way, Brother Saeed. Thank you so much. So you have to have won 50 games and be at 50%. And then after you can do that in the rec center, or you said two ways you could do it in the rec center.
Yes, or Pro-Am.
or Pro-Am?
Yeah, rec is pretty much you can play. You can play that mode where basically you can go in the rec center by yourself if you choose, or you can go in there with teammates that you want to play with. Pro-Am is that's the team setting, where basically you can go in and play with your teammates and achieve that same goal in mind.
Gotcha.
So that's the only difference. Like, if you don't have anybody to play with or anything like that, you can go in the rec center and try to achieve that goal by yourself.
So
Okay.
would going in the rec center be similar to almost like training if you're by yourself, or it would be a one-on-one thing? Or
Think of it like open gym. Like, if you went to open gym and you didn't have a team and you were looking to get picked up next or something like that. But basically, in the game, when you go into the rec center, if you go in there by yourself, you'll be sitting and waiting until four other people come in there as well, and then it'll put you together as a team. So it's kind of like a randomizer to a degree. If you don't go in there with the squad yourself, it'll kind of like randomize you, and then you can play.
Okay, I get it.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. So, okay. And then once you play in those modes and you have your 51 games at 50%, you do the application. 50. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. 50, not 50. I was saying 51, like you win the 50 game, not 51.
W-O-N.
Yeah.
W-O-N. Right.
And then you get the application. And then if you're selected after the application, you get an interview. And then that's when you get the possibility of playing on a team or getting picked up in December. So the draft, this is a part of the whole drafting process. Like, do they reach out to you by phone? Do they email you? Do they call you? Like, how does that normally go?
Well, basically, just to clean that up just a little bit, after you complete your 50 games and you submit your application, and then that qualifies you to go into the combine. I don't know the parameters of the combine this year yet because they haven't been announced. But like last year, you had to play at least 40 games in the combine. Mm-hmm. You can play them at either position. You can play as many games as you want, but you had to play a minimum of 40 games. And once you do that, then you complete that, and then that puts you in the phase of being selected for the combine. Now they use an algorithm that no one knows but the league. Mm-hmm. So you don't know. You compete with a lot of players across the world. So basically, you just have to be patient and wait and see if you're selected for the draft pool. Now, like last year, they started with 250 players, and they dwindled it down to 150 because you have to pass background checks and things of that nature as well. So they start from 250 to 150, and that 150 is inputted into the draft pool, and those are the players that you're eligible to draft.
Gotcha. Okay, this is all very. I love this, like the inner workings, and this is great. Like,
it's more extensive than what a lot of people may think. I mean, on a outside looking in, because just to give you an idea, like for the off season, like we Netsgamingcrew was a new team. We were an expansion team last year. The league right now has 23 teams. Last year it was 21 teams. We were one of the 4 expansion teams that participated last season. So we finished 7-9. We missed the playoffs within the last couple of weeks. Just let some things get away from us, and we missed the playoffs. Now, going into the off season, I got to retain 2 players, and in the process of that, I ended up making some off-season moves where I traded one of my players to another team for first-round draft pick in this upcoming draft. I traded that pick for another player that played in Atlanta, and he's actually from Brooklyn, so I got to bring him back home. So like that, to give you an idea, it's the same mirroring image of the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds just like the same mirror image. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a lot of moving parts, so to speak.
Right.
So it's a lot to keep up with. I mean, I work remotely in Ohio, but I'm in talks. I have an assistant in New York who keeps everything going. I have a strong team that I work with at BSE Global, and basically it's a full-fledged operation from day to day.
And that's what I was just thinking of. Like, yeah, I was just saying that's what I was thinking of. There are so many opportunities within that. That's phenomenal. I love it.
So for those that are listening in that are curious to know what the career gain, the financial gain of doing what you're doing is, and just any type of gaming arena, because I'm in the game myself, so I have an understanding that, of course, as most people know, that being a gamer, it is a true opportunity to have a career in doing that and live a nice lifestyle off of that as well. So for those that are listening in, what could you say to them that would be a great gain from doing what it is that you're doing?
Well, for me, I have, my unique route of how I entered in the world of esports, but what I have learned more about since I've been in it is that, beyond being a gamer or being knowledgeable about gaming, you have content creators, you have videographers, journalists, it's a lot of different areas, graphic art and design. Like it's so many areas that you can impact esports with never touching the controller or being knowledgeable about the game. Like it's a lot of things that go into it. I mean, like, our NBA2k league games are full broadcasted games. So, you got production and everything that goes with that. So also, being IT, it's so many avenues that you can choose to go down, being an influencer, and casters, and it's a lot of positions, that can keep you moving and going about in the world of gaming. I mean, I think that's something that, obviously people don't think about. You hear gaming and you just think about video games, but you don't think about everything that surrounds it that makes it go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And a person just posted the questions. What are some things that can keep you from being chosen? I mean, let's just say you got the 50 games, you are at 50%. What are some things that can kind of like really knock you out of the box, other than a bad interview? And maybe you can answer what would constitute a bad interview.
You know what? To be honest, I don't like that part of the process. I can't be too critical about because I'm not a part of it. Mm-hmm. But I mean, just me giving my personal opinion and advice for it is, just be yourself and be organic. And you want it's just like you going for any job that you want. I mean, you have to kind of put yourself out there. I mean, and make your strengths known and basically how can you be of service to the league and what you bring to the table. I think that's the one beauty of it on my end is the way my situation is that that's how I was. I mean, I honestly believe that I'm the type of person if something is for you, then you will have it, and just be yourself and put in the work and put the time in and I think that's the best way to put yourself in position to be able to do what you want to do within this space.
I agree.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Exactly. You definitely put the time in. You definitely did.
Yeah, I mean, I just think, being passion driven, like we never thought about a long. We didn't think about a long game, let alone an end game. So, me being it's still surreal to this day because we was just doing everything out of the passion and love of the game. Like we didn't think about it. One of the unique things that we share is that we both were in the military. I was in the military and I got out and started up what I was doing. He was still in the military.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then he eventually got out. So it was like, it was like divine intervention. Like it felt like, now I can look back on things and, it was like it was supposed to happen, but nobody seen that at the time. But now when I look back and think about it, it was like everything was just slowly, getting in line with each other.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So now being able to, like this weekend, I'm going to Dallas, Texas for the Texas Ticket, which is the event being put on by Mavs Gaming. And just like I spoke of earlier, this is one of the off-season events where basically this is a live event. Like our event with Netsgamingcrew was an online gaming tournament, but theirs is actually live. So I'll be going there to, be a part of their event where basically gamers are flying in from all over to compete for a slot in the NBA2k league. So
wow,
it's gonna be
lit.
Yeah. So and the thing about it, this is my partner. Like this is somebody I've been, tight with in gaming for the last 5-6 years. So now we're doing it on a professional level, and it's just like we just like big kids and sitting on the cloud. But it's still putting the time and the work in, but actually being able to enjoy it.
It's like a hidden dream coming true that you weren't even looking to grow into being what it is, and the beauty and the responsibility that comes with it, because it's become so broad, way further than what you guys had ever imagined it to be. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, yes.
It's kind of like what.
And through the process.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Sure. No, I was just saying through the process, it has allowed me to be able to speak to kids and be involved in a lot of different programs where I can actually be a true testimony to kids who dream and may think that things never happen, when I know for a fact that if you believe in yourself and you put in the work and you put in the time and you stay dedicated to whatever it is you're doing, it can happen. And I like having that feeling to be able to back it up with proof, because I know, with kids, from coaching, I coached kids for a long time, but nothing's better than proof.
Right.
And
That's true.
to be able to show them that, it means a lot to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
well, guys, we're going to take a quick break here. Again, thanks so much to Coach Curtis, who is the coach of the Brooklyn Nets NBA2k League. We got a whole nother set of questions. We got about 58 minutes left in the show, so we got more coming. Thank you all so much who have been joining in and sending in questions. We will get your questions asked when we come back from the break. If you want to call into the show and ask yourself, you can call in at 646-668-8484. This is CEPTV Late Night Hype with LaShawn and Lothario. We're going to take a quick break and we will be right back.
Did you know there was a way to put your advertisement of your product and or service virtually anywhere in the United States? You can take your ad and pin it to a geographical location of your choice and get a guaranteed amount of leads every month With the new loyalty gem, your ad landing page or ClickFunnels will show up on sites like CNN, Forbes, YouTube, Facebook, and more. If you want to get started with your virtual ad pin and put up a virtual billboard anywhere in the United States, text info to 706-438-8082. That's info at 706-438-8082. Join the latest award-winning lead-generating service with Royalty Gems today. CEP-TV stands for Crafters, Entertainers, and Entrepreneurs at Play TV. We are an emerging streaming online network that provides linear, cloud TV, as well as streaming TV. Our platform is dedicated to African Americans and diasporic minorities who want to share creative content that sheds a positive light on us as a people, not just as a color. CEP-TV is a network where visions are shared and legacies are spawned without fear. Those who dare to dream that their voices will be heard in whatever avenue they wish to excel. CEP-TV can be that place to help them showcase to the world for all to see. As a beginning network, it takes hard work and dedication. We are always welcoming to sponsorships, collaborations, and partnerships that intertwine with CEP-TV's ultimate goal of becoming a top-tier alternative streaming platform. If you would like to help CEP-TV continue to grow, please subscribe to our platform at www.mycep.tv, where you can now see a wealth of talent on our network. Advertising opportunities are now available. If interested, please email CEPTV2019@gmail.com for an advertising and sponsorship package, as we have packages that cover social media, radio, and TV. We thank you so much for tuning in to CEP-TV Radio Network and hope that you continue to enjoy the show.
Brothers and sisters, feed your minds. Learn, read, and rise.
Welcome to CEP-TV and Blogtalk Radio. Anyone can subscribe and sign up and can view all genres of content, movies, live events, TV shows, and more by African Americans and Brown Americans on CEP-TV. Then listen for interviews on Blogtalk Radio. Tune in and listen now.
And we are back talking to a gentleman who is history in the making, coming straight out of the Gem City, Dayton, Ohio, and has carved out a dream career in gaming with the NBA 2k League. Y'all don't laugh at my sponsors now. Mr. Curtis has joined us tonight. Great show, getting a lot of positive feedback. Again, thank you so much. Those of you who are just tuning in, this is LaShawn and Lothario with the Late Night Hype. Got Coach Ivan Curtis here with us tonight. If you want to call in, if you have a question, please give us a call, 646-668-8484. We got about another 53 minutes left in the show, so plenty of time. We sign off here at about 2 a.m. Eastern time for a question that was just asked on the Facebook platform. So if you want to call in, please give us a call, 648-668-8484. We'll be on until about 2 a.m. So, like when we were talking about everything, I had this one particular question. For those of you who are internet heads like me and kind of troll the internet a little bit, if you know anything about any of the prank shows that come on, they used to be called vines, and then those evolved into pranks. So back in the day, not really that long ago, a couple of years ago, maybe two or 3 years ago, there was a young lady that played a prank on her boyfriend and deleted what they said was called his 95 overall player. And he was so mad at her. Like, I wish I would have queued the clip up and put it in the show so people could hear it. But he was so mad at her. Like, it took everything out of his soul not to punch her or whatever. But they end up actually breaking up after that. And so for the layman people like me, who are not totally into the gaming world but kind of have an idea, and then for the people who totally don't, explain to us in NBA2k world, what in the world is a 95 overall player, and what will cause a person to be that upset if their character got deleted?
Okay, so basically in the my player mode of the game, everybody, before you build your player, after you build your player, everybody's basically a 60 overall. Like, you start out as a 60 overall. Now you can purchase VC, which is virtual currency, and when you pay for that, you can pay for it in levels, like 35,000, 50,000, X amount, all the way up until 450,000. And when you add a certain amount of VC to your player, that's what raises their overall.
So how much we talking here for how much are we talking about paying here?
Well, for 450,000 VC, it's like I think $100.
Oh, I was thinking that's kind of for a kid.
It doesn't sound bad, but
for a child that's not working, that's playing this game, that's horrible. But not
it's
really.
horrible. Yeah, it's like that. Yeah,
if you don't have a job.
You're paying more for the VC than you did for the game.
Of course, yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, so in doing that, now when you max it out before you start working to build this player up, it caps at like 85. So you go from a 60 to an 85, and when you get to an 85, then you have to start you have to play. You're playing basically a season with that my player. And now, originally, when they first came out with the my player mode, the only way you could upgrade your my player was to play in an actual season. And basically, you go through the whole theatrics of getting drafted and getting selected for a team, and then once you get on that team, you grab X amount of rebounds, you score, get assists.
So you're
those are all
building up the steps of the player.
Exactly. So, but now you can build your player up all types of ways, and that one particular event of what you're talking about, like now you can play park, or you can play pro-am, or you can play rec, and you can still build up your player. Now, the reason why his reaction was so tough to that is because it takes a lot of work and a lot of time to get your player to that point. And
it does.
For somebody to delete it is that can send you,
it's like a homicide.
Exactly. So, that's the gist of the magnitude of why he was so upset, is because he spent X amount of hours working on that player, not only hours but money as well, and not to have that, because once it's gone, it's gone. I mean, so
there were some commenters though. that said that. Now I don't know if that was then, because it probably wasn't available then. But somebody said that if you call the gaming people, that sometimes they can help you get it back. Like I don't know what it takes to restore it, but some people were saying that you can get them back. But this was like 2 or 3 years ago, so I don't know. You know, there's been a lot of developments since then, so maybe it had not gotten to that point yet where you can get call the company and get the player back. Now I don't know if that's true. You probably know, of course. I mean, I know you know more than me.
Well, it is now. Yeah, it is now. Now, basically, when you create a player, it's in the cloud.
Okay.
So right. It can be obtained now, but when they first created them, though, it wasn't like that. So not like now, if whether you're on PS4 or Xbox, it can be obtained because it may be deleted off your system, but it's still in the cloud of Microsoft or PlayStation Network, so they're still able to obtain it.
Gotcha. Wow.
So now when you're gaming and building up your player and putting your $100 in for your VC, does this also help make your player more valuable? Like your player ends up being worth a certain amount of dollars, like Kobe Bryant, LeBron, they would be worth their worth is a certain amount of money. Does this do the same thing when you're playing 2K?
Basically, like in the realm of how I play 2K, the higher you want your player to be at his maximum peak. The whole race, for the most part, with the my player aspect of it, is to get to a 99. That's pretty much because that's the max of what you can be at your my players a 99. So and in doing that, it makes you a stronger and better player, no matter if you're playing in the rec or if you're playing park or if you're playing pro-am. It's just you're able to maximize what you can do on the court.
Okay. So when you're after you maximize that, does that position a gamer of 2K that has already gotten their career, of course, set by now? Does that position them to be able to do an even greater return as that player builds and the team wins? Let's say the championship game. What game does that help for the person that's choosing to be a gamer as a career?
Oh, okay. Now let me break this down because this is something that we haven't talked about yet. But basically, and this goes right into it. In the professional league, there is a whole different version of the game. It's a only designed for the league. In the league, every player is capped. So it's basically an even playing field. So to make it more skill based.
Mm-hmm.
In the retail version, it's not like that. You can, your player is only as good as you work for him to be. But in the actual professional ranks, it's all capped. They're all capped at 90 overalls. Every player has the same. Every position has the same amount of badges, the same attributes. So now it's like basically if me and you pick the same player, it's about who's best at that with that player. If you get what I'm saying.
I get it. Right.
Okay.
So yeah, that's something. Yeah, that's the real unique part about playing in the professional league is because that mode is only geared towards the professional league.
So it's like a whole nother software, kind of like.
Yeah, a whole different IP.
Gotcha. So what current campaigns are you working on? I know that you were kind of doing something where you had to be available a lot, and like what is what are you doing to, like, do you have to do a lot of promotion to keep interest? Like, are you part of like any marketing or anything to drum up, interest and attention to this? Because I know in order for the NBA league to be what it is now, there has to be a continual demand and interest for it. So where do you fit in the scheme of that?
Basically, I attend a lot of different gaming events. The NBA2k League, they host a lot of events during the off season and even during the season that I participate in. But mainly social media. I do a lot individually, but also with the organization. My social media manager, Wael and Cooney, he creates a lot of content for us to do that's team based and sometimes even individually based for the players and for the coach like myself. We pretty much content is the biggest thing in esports, period.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that be video or just social media postings and different things like that. So that's basically the big thing in the off season. And the way our league is constructed, the off season is different because you don't keep your same team from year to year, because that's just the way it's by design like that for right now. So basically, you don't have a lot of players in the off season to create a large amount of content. So during the season, we do a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and to promote the league and promote our organization and things like that. But I've been working actively to get involved with a lot of different youth programs, and doing shows like you all's and just constantly spreading the word about the league and about our team. So that's basically I'm on Twitter, every day. I'm on Facebook every day. I have different things that I do on Twitter. Like OG 2 cents.
I was going to ask about that.
Yeah, I started that over a year ago, and basically it's a funny story to that because I have a lot of good friends in it that I've gained in the gaming world, and a lot of people were way more outspoken on social media and everything like that. I've been old school. Like I was on there and I was a presence, but I really wasn't making my presence felt. And one of my partners said, Kurt, like you just need to engage with the community more, and start posting more, start tweeting more, and different things like that. So, one day I made a tweet, and at the end I just put hashtag OG 2 cents. It was just something I was thinking about randomly, and I've always been known to push positivity, and that's just a big part of what I do. And I went to sleep. I think I woke up the next day and I looked and I was, oh man, like people really liked it. So the next thing you know, it just became a habit, and now it's something that people look forward to every day. And if too many days go by and I haven't did OG 2 cents, and people let me, they let me know. So and now even other people now, so it's even other people they start trending their own 2 cents and different stuff like that. So it's been something positive, and I've actually took it and made it a part of my line that I recently launched. So it's been pretty good and positive and productive.
Absolutely, I did see that, and congratulations on that. We definitely are patronizers of the businesses that we interact with, so you'll be hearing more from us on that for sure. Definitely. So that is definitely awesome. What was the other? How can people? I know you said you have Twitter. You gave your tags, but just recap a little bit. How can people follow you, or if at all possible, get in touch with you? All that good stuff.
Well, yeah, I'm on all social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And for me, luckily, all my accounts are OG King Kurt. So it's kind of, it's easy to find me, direct message. I'm up 18, 19 hours a day. So if you have any questions or anything you want to know, you can just, either at me on Twitter or DM me on Instagram, or like I have a personal blog on Facebook. That's the OG King Kurt. The same thing, just message or, shoot me. I think my number is on there or anything like that. Just reach out to me. Also, for anything about the NBA 2K League, you can find them on all social media platforms as well. Instagram, NBA 2K League, Twitter, NBA 2K League, and as Facebook as well. Also, Netsgamingcrew, you can locate them on Twitter as well, and Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
And so,
and you said your name is OG King, and it sounds like you had a last part to
Kurt.
Kurt, Curt.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Funny thing, like I said, OG is because I was the older gamer. King is just something that kings and queens, something that I just use was in my everyday life. But Kurt was what my mom used to call me. So I just cut my last name short and just used that for what she used to call me. Rest her soul. She passed away last year, July the 4th.
Oh, rest in peace.
Rest that's the reason.
Condolences.
That's why I asked. Because I wanted it to be for certain on how people gain your information, so that way they would definitely be able to reach you.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
No problem.
I had a question. So when we were communicating, I put out there it was the New Jersey Nets. Now, am I tripping, or was that ever really a thing? Did it switch to Brooklyn?
It's Brooklyn now, but originally, it was the
Okay, so I'm not crazy, because I was like, wait a minute, somebody's gaslighting me, or the timeline have shifted, or we in a parallel universe, because I guess I'm just that I guess I'm just that behind.
She said a parallel universe.
Yeah, you were showing your age, because a lot of new age kids they don't know anything about the New Jersey.
I guess so. So yeah. Okay. So how many does every NBA team have a serious gaming league associated with it, or is it just a few and this is a building thing? Like, how big is this thing right now?
It's up and coming. Like the first season, there were 17 teams.
Mm-hmm.
And then last year in the second season, there was 21. And then over this off season, we have picked up 2 more teams. So basically, I can run it down to you to give you an idea of who all is in the league.
Absolutely.
You have 76ers GC, which is the Philadelphia 76ers affiliate. You have Blazer 5 Gaming, which is the Portland Trail Blazers affiliate. You have Bucks Gaming, who's Milwaukee Bucks affiliate. You have Cavs Legion GC, which is the affiliate for the Cleveland Cavaliers. You have Celtics Crossover Gaming for Boston Celtics. You have Gen G, which is our first international team to join the league. And that's something that we're looking very forward to this upcoming season.
That's really going to open it up. Wow.
Exactly. You have Grizz Gaming for Memphis Grizzlies. You have Hawks Talents GC for Atlanta Hawks. You have Heat Check Gaming for Miami Heat. Hornets Venom GT for Charlotte's Hornets. Jazz Gaming for Utah Jazz. Kingsguard Gaming for Sacramento Kings. Knicks Gaming for New York Knicks. Lakers Gaming for Lakers. Magic Gaming for Orlando Magic. Mavs Gaming for Dallas Mavericks. Pacers Gaming for Indiana Pacers. Pacers GT for Detroit Pistons, Raptors Uprising for the Toronto Raptors, T-Wolves Gaming for Minnesota Timberwolves, Warriors Gaming Squad for Golden State Warriors, and you have Wizards District Gaming for the Washington Wizards.
Awesome.
Sounds awesome.
That's
Right.
everybody,
That's
like we
lit.
just got the whole rundown of, so that means not only do we have 23 teams, I think that's what you said, 20, you had 21 and then you added two more. So that's 23 teams. One is international. So that means we are still like in the building stages of this thing. So that means there's a lot of opportunities for those of you who are listening, who may know someone, who may know someone who could be interested. And parents, we are in a different age. Like, we didn't have tournaments and stuff like that when we were little. So I'm not saying that it was a useless skill to learn games or anything like that, because Coach Curtis is proof that that's definitely not the case. So there could be a real career budding, of course, within reason. They have to have, well, not have to have, it's probably more profitable to, still have some type of external life going on, and really be, just be, how am I trying? I'm trying to clean this up because I'm not, there's some people that are so.
Can I input on that?
Yeah.
For me, based on what LaShawn is expressing, is having this opportunity to be an opportunity for anybody that's out there gaming, for any parent that has a teenager, young child, whatever the case may be, even if for any parent that may have a significant other, whether you're a guy or girl and you're the one that's gaming the most out of the two of y'all. It can be a very profitable thing. To add to that, something that could also be helpful if you do not have a 9 to 5 outside of your home when you're gaming is, of course, like OG King said as well, to have a line of something. A lot of the gamers, just to go into this a little smidge to give you a better understanding, on YouTube, a lot of the gamers who are very, very popular and have gotten themselves very established, they have clothing lines. They have a lot of things going on because they've already capitalized on their gaming career from YouTube. So things like that would be very suitable to have because you want to build on your career and not only just stay only involved in what you have built as a success. You want to keep on building on that.
Right. And what I'm trying to say is, like, parents, don't be too hard on your children who, are submersed in gaming, because there could very well be opportunity there. Like, it's kind of like, generations ago in the baby boom generations, when people used to collect comics and everybody was like, oh, that's junk. And then, if you had held on to it for just a little bit longer, you could have been like a millionaire or something if you would have kept all your nostalgia or whatnot. So I'm just saying, like, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater for parents who may be listening in. There definitely could be opportunity for your child if they are into gaming.
That is an interesting saying. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. I have never heard that.
I thought the same thing. And I'm all for
never
it.
Heard that.
I love it.
Yeah, that was interesting. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. That needs one of those. That is one of those.
That's so old school. I can't believe y'all never heard that before.
I've never heard that before, ever.
Never. And it's funny because just what a lot of people don't think about, again, is like on my team this past season, I had one player who had a master's degree. I had another player that was a semester away from getting his degree in marketing and advertising. And then I had another player who had just finished his associates in accounting. And then I had another player who was like a semester away from getting his finance degree.
Wow.
So like, yeah, and it varies like that, obviously, from team to team, because my team was an older team, so a lot of players had went to college or or did some college and things of that nature. So, but it's more than just playing the game. Like, branding is a big part of it. Luckily for me, some things were just in me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wasn't even just thinking. I wasn't thinking about it. I started branding myself early, not even thinking anything was going to come over. But I was figuring like, well, I'm in the space and people are starting to know me, so let me just add certain things to it, and not even thinking about it. But the more I got into the space and the more I got to understanding of everything, like, how you brand yourself and promote yourself is important. And because now we're living in a time of influence. And, we would never thought, 20, 30 years ago that, brand influencers and they would have such a big impact on the world as they do now, as on Instagram or, Twitter or anything like that. I mean, everybody wants influencers. I mean, because, you can appeal to the masses, so to speak. So it's important to just, be more. I always tell players, you got to play the game, but you got to play the game.
Right.
And
Right.
So, and that's something that, I try to pass on to them. And then not only my players, but just, everybody's in the league because, we all compete against each other, but at the end of the day, we're all part of one big old family.
Absolutely.
Word. That's what's up.
And that kind of like is from like your military background too. Like, at the end of the day, you're all one team. Everybody's, has the same goals at the end of the day. That just that good old military camaraderie that comes out at the end of the day.
Oh no, without a doubt. Especially in the Navy, because when you're out there on that water, it's only you and everybody else that's on the ship. So, and it's funny to think about it. I can throw a little story in it, a short story into it, because I was young when I went into the military, and I didn't think too much about going out to sea probably as much as I should. So when we were in port, one day we had to do a fire drill,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody had to dress down in the FFE. And I was like, man, I work in engineering. Like, why do I have to put this on? And it was like, Curtis, when we out to sea and the ship catches on fire, the fire department is not coming.
Right.
And so, I'm a 18-year-old kid. I'm not saying I would. And then when he said, I said, oh, like that makes sense. And so yeah, and at the end of the day, teamwork and everybody being on one accord, and it's important. I mean, even though we all was in different departments, but like I said, if any issue arises, we all have to be ready to conquer it together.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's facts.
Yes. So what are some perks? Like you talked about your experience, you talked about how what are the perks of being the you said general manager, right?
Yes.
Because I've been calling you coach. You're a general manager, not a coach.
Well, yeah, I'm both. I'm both.
Okay.
In our league, you have some people that some organizations have a coach, and then they have a GM that's separate. I'm one of the few who I have a dual role, where me personally, I always prefer the title GM, because players. I'm not coaching them every single second. Like they're pros. They've been playing the game for a long time. If you make it to the league, then you've obviously are one of the best in the world. So me, it's just more or less about just managing them from a day-to-day basis and different things like that. But to answer your question, like, I mean, being able to, like, I moved to New York last year for the season. Got to live down in the financial district, which is, if anybody knows anything about New York, that's like one of the, it's pretty, a nice area, pricey area. Got to experience New York to the fullest. We get to go to the games, go to different events at the Barclays Center, different things of that nature. Actually, our practice facility is located in the Barclays Center.
Oh, wow.
So, like one day, we were practicing while the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ceremony was going. Like when they were rehearsing, we were practicing. So like different little things like that, where you can walk out and you can see Janet Jackson performing and doing different things like that. Obviously, I mean, good seats at the basketball games. Obviously, and like being in, I've got the experience being around some of the NBA players. Some of the personnel that actually work day to day with the NBA team. It was different little things like that. And also just in New York, from day to day, you never know who you're gonna run into. So that's one of the things. I've never been pretty much a starstruck type person, but it's awesome to see like people, out of the light, so to speak. And,
right. And in their regular comfort zone.
Exactly. So like, because that's kind of like for me, to a small degree. I mean, that's how I feel. Like when it's the opposite. I said I never thought coming back to Dayton, Ohio, would be a vacation. To an extent. Like when I'm in New York, I'm working every day for the most part. Weekends are, I'm often not really doing much, but Monday through Friday, is pretty much nonstop. And but when I come back home, and I get to be just me. I'm just Ivan, like our twin, or dad, or whatever. But in New York, is OG, or it's Kurt, or and different things of that nature. And so, like, I appreciate all those moments where you just be able to unwind and talk to people who grinding just like you, but it's just organic.
Right. Absolutely.
Nice word, organic.
So, like, I seen you at a game. Like, do y'all get like courtside seats and stuff like that every now and then too?
Well, last season we sat pretty close, but like, the funny thing about it is, like, obviously now, like with Kyrie and KD and everybody like that, like you don't get that same type of access anymore, because now, I mean, pretty much a packed house for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
But they're good seats. I mean, we've been in suites a time or two and different things like that. But yeah, it's, it varies. I like in the off season, I go back once or twice a month, depending on what's going on or anything like that. And most of the time I always make sure I attend the game, or a concert or something like that. And I said I tell people all the time, the one thing about gaming is that, I built a career in the house. So, like, you get so used to being in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sometimes it's hard to get out. Like,
become an introvert.
You either sitting playing a game, or like for me, I'm sitting, on all the social media platforms and putting out content here, putting out different pics here, and doing different things, and always trying to keep everything fresh and up to date. So you spend a lot of time at home. So I pretty much create everything for the comfort of being at home or wherever I'm at. So it's pretty interesting, but yeah, I mean, I do get out from time to time, but I've always been pretty much a homebody anyway.
Gotcha.
Yeah, see, for me, I have to be a mixture of the two. And I understand where you're coming from, because when you have an opportunity to work from home, along with working outside the home, you get used to it if you work from home more than outside the home. So for me, I'm happy that I strive to keep a balance for myself, because I like being an introvert and an extrovert, because when I'm tired of being around all the people, I can be an introvert and just be all to myself.
Right. And, it's funny because I just learned, like, I'm one of those types that like to constantly keep learning about myself. Like, I'm not finished. I'm not a finished product or anything like that. So I just started realizing that about myself. When I was younger, I didn't really like being by myself or having that time to myself. But now I understand the value, because when you are in a position like I am now, where it's a lot of things going on, and you're doing X, Y, Z, and you're responsible for a large amount of, like, you need that zen
Yeah,
time.
you do, because you're grinding. Yeah, well, yeah, when you're grinding, you need that time so you can think and rethink, and not overthink, but just think just enough so you can play your own chess game. And I don't know how to play chess, but my brain plays chess, because you always have to stay a few steps ahead of yourself so you can get a full understanding of what it is that you're trying to do next, that next move.
Exactly.
So let me ask you this, like, from somebody from my position, like, if you just handed somebody a controller, like, could you give them, because you said earlier, like, the women, when you were talking about the women's league, like, if you're good, you're just good. Like, this is like, gaming is something like you either take to and you pick up on, or you don't. So let's just say someone has mediocre skills and someone has great skills. How do you help them get better? Do you just tell them to keep practicing, keep playing, or is there something that some guidance that you can actually give them? Like, okay, so when you get to this point, do this, this, and this, versus doing this, this, and that. Like, is gaming anything like that as far as instructional wise?
Yeah, I look at it as the same as the actual physical essence of the sport, like learning how the do dribble moves, or learning how to time your shot better, or like in a 5v5 setting, just seeing the court and recognizing different things that need to be executed at certain times. It's almost no different than actual when I coach basketball in real life. Like, I mean, it's something that, as a gamer and even as a player, you only get better if you play.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
right.
And you learn through that. And basically, I guess that was, one of the advantages that I had from a mental aspect, is that, I have coached the game, and for a long time, I played when I was younger, and so I see it from both sides. And the only thing was that, funny story with that is that, like, my daughter, when she graduated college, she came to New York and spent time with me for a week, and she came to the games, and I coached her when she was younger,
Mm-hmm.
and she got to watch me coach when she was younger too, and I was a fiery, in your face, type coach, and after our games was over, we were on a shuttle riding back, and she was like, "Papas, I never seen you like this calm. Like, I never seen you like that." And I told her, the only thing that I took different from gaming into real life, like, it's more of a mental game with gaming. Mm-hmm. So, like, you don't want to constantly be in your player's ear, throughout the game. You gotta, whatever your game plan was, you have to stay to it, and know your responsibilities, when you get ready to go out there. And because you only get a split second to execute. And me constantly talking in their ear and saying different things, that some players like that, and then you have some players who, their focus is a little different. So you
right.
have to work
throw them off their game.
Exactly. So it's like, I told her, I said it's a little different, but she was amazed, because she's used to me, just doing whatever I had to do to get my players' attention.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's true. Well, it was something in my head that I was going to add to. What was it? Oh man, it was just in my head. Oh, I know what I was about to say. I follow you when LaShawn asked you about the differentiation or the possible differentiation between gaming on the system versus being at an actual game. And I don't play 2K like that. I admire the game, but I admire it more when I'm watching somebody play it versus me playing myself. But when I have played it, I remember when one of my friends told me at one time, he said when you want to make certain shots, you have to like flick, you know what I'm saying, the controller. I think it was the X on it. You got to flick it a certain way to get a certain shot in. You can't just press the button down and then move it, like press it down for 2 or 3 seconds and then move it, because you might miss the shot or it might go over the entire goal. So you have to flick it, you know what I'm saying, gently and get a feel for how you flick it. Like you said, the more often you play, the more often you'll get that sense of feeling of how to make that shot versus when you first started, you had a difficult time making any shot on the court.
Right. And yeah, exactly. Like in the game, you have obviously your XY button, your AB button, but then you also have your right analog stick, and you have your your trigger buttons as well, and then you have your left and right top buttons. So your bumper. So those attribute to what type of skill moves that you can do within the game as well. So yeah, I mean, those are the different type things that either people obviously can coach you through and show you and tell you, or a lot of it you can just learn through playing and experimenting and see what works for you. Because what separates the best players is they learn when and how to do it. When it's time.
Yep.
And that's pretty much the key to it. And a lot of that just comes from nothing different than anything else, just repetition. I mean, and just getting it down and just picking what works best for you.
That's right.
Okay. So you mean to tell me that having let's just say I had an Xbox Elite controller, which is way more sophisticated and way more comfortable in my hands than just a little plastic one you get out the box, you saying that won't make a difference? It's still, it's just skill.
Yeah, I mean, it's more about the comfort, for yourself. And because, for instance, I had players who use Elite controllers, and then I had one player who just used a regular standard manufactured controller. And I mean, is this all about what's comfortable for you?
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. Because at the gaming, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say the difference is for those Elite controllers and different, like for your shooting games and and different things like that. Now that may, that's a little different. But as far as for 2K, it's just all about what works for you.
Because I was going to say,
right,
if they thought that the Elite controllers made that much of a difference, they probably wouldn't allow them. Everybody would have to have the same controllers because all the players are the same stats and the same this and the same that. So if everybody had the same type of controller, you know what I'm saying? Like if they really thought that it made that much of a difference and it wasn't I would say 99.9% skill and maybe 1% a better controller. Like it's not that much of a ratio of something better because it still has to be, like you said, your comfort with the controller and how you maneuver that controller.
Exactly.
Yeah, because at the gaming tournaments, they typically have pretty large controllers when they're gaming at the gaming tournaments. When it's I haven't seen like a NBA2k gaming tournament or anything, but I've seen those that are about Justice League, Mortal Kombat, Sonic gaming. They typically have pretty large animated type of controllers in their hand when they're gaming at the gaming tournament. So yeah, I would say that it would go all back to your comfort. And then some people do have the regular size controllers too at the gaming tournament. So it's just all about how comfortable the person is on what they feel like can give them the better advantage.
Right. Now the unique part about the 2K League and the games and tournaments and stuff like that is like it's all played on PC. Obviously, if you're a PlayStation player, you can use your PS4 controller. Or if you're an Xbox player, you can use your Xbox controller. But it's all PC based. So whatever controller you prefer, that's what you can use. The one great aspect about our sport is that basically it's played in a face-to-face kind of like competition setup. This past season, it was more a circular, kind of like a bowl setup where basically all the players can look across from each other. And the unique part about it is, just like if you grew up playing basketball, a lot of trash talking, a lot of emotion, and different things like that. So it brings a different element to you just sitting at home playing the game in your room or basement or, wherever you play it versus that 5v5, everybody in the same room, the team camaraderie, you looking across from your opponent and when you make a good move or make a good shot or, whatever takes place. But, that it's a true experience. And that's why, like this weekend, going to this event in Dallas, those are epic moments because, our league is young. So it's not something that people have experienced like that. We've been playing online gaming for 2K for years now, and at each other's home. But now we get a chance to meet at venues and get that live experience and different things like that. So it's only something that's going to grow.
Absolutely,
and constantly keep getting bigger.
There's a guy in I'm gonna reach out to him. There's a guy in LaGrange who has a gaming van that he takes to little parties and stuff like that. He should think about maybe reaching out to you all. I don't know how that would work, but I just thought about that. Like if he has a mobile gaming thing that he can take, even if it's not really as serious as like a tournament or something like that, but just, maybe getting children primed to just, take some interest in NBA 2K, playing it and getting revved up and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, just tossing some stuff out there, but I just thought that was a neat concept. Somebody did have a question though, about if you have like if you had something on your background, you said they do a background check, like what on your background are they actually looking for? Like if you're a felon or you have a warrant out for your arrest, that kind of is like a disqualifier.
I mean, like I said earlier, I'm not a part of that phase, but certain levels, I would kind of deem like that may disqualify you. But you can go to the site, 2kleague.nba.com. And I'm sure I believe it's a section in there where if you have any questions or anything that you want to know, you can contact them and somebody I'm sure will get back in touch with you.
What was that site again?
2kleague.nba.com.
2K League.
OG King said, "Don't put me in that tight spot." I would hate to see somebody who's a felon get out and say, "Man, they done took the game from me too." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I always been. I like to stay in my lane, like
Okay, well, it has definitely been fun. We are down to our last 3 minutes. I didn't mean to let it go this long, but man, I tell you, time surely does fly. We want to thank you so much for coming on with us and sharing your wealth of knowledge, sharing your experiences with us. Is there anything else you wanted to add before we close out the show?
First of all, I want, thanks again for having me. LaShawn, we go back to childhood friends, I'm extremely happy and proud of you for what you're doing as well. So, at any point in time, you want to have me back on, I was hoping one day maybe, can cover an event or,
Absolutely.
and actually get to experience it. That would do wonders. I mean, because it's one thing to talk about it, but to experience it and see it for yourself, I mean, it can be mind blowing. But I just want to thank you for having me. Like I said, I can be reached on OG King Kerr on all social media platforms, Netsgamingcrew on all social media platforms, and as well NBA2k League on all social media platforms. And their website is 2kleague.nba.com.
Thank you once again. Lothario and I, we're going to get on out of here. Lothario, did you have any closing thoughts?
No, just keep following your dreams, everybody. As you can see from myself and LaShawn doing CPTV Late Night Hype. Also, as you can see with me and LaShawn having CPTV networks. And here,
90 seconds.
Here, he's doing his thing, OG King Kurt. So follow your dreams. That's the only thing I really have to say right now. Just follow your dreams, stay focused, and they will manifest.
Absolutely. Thank y'all so much.
Agreed.
Y'all have a great night. We are going to get on out of here and we will definitely be in touch. So take care and have a wonderful night, everybody.
Peace.
60 seconds.
Thank you for tuning in to another CEP TV Radio Network podcast production. Whether you are listening via Blogtalk, Anchor, or any of our other media outlets, we want to say thank you for tuning in. To find out more video content related to today's topic matter, please visit our streaming website at www.mycep.tv and subscribe today to see original indie movie, music, arts, crafts, and fashion, and more from African American visionaries just like you. That's www.mycep.tv.
10 seconds.
Or be a guest on our show, please email us at ceptv2019@gmail.com. Have a great night.
Good night, everybody. I'm getting out of here. Gotta go to work in the morning. Thanks for joining me.